Hello and happy new year to you all. I hope 2020 is a great year. Welcome to this racket test number 679. We are going to test here today the Victor Hypernano X900X. Okay, so the format you should be used to by now. The new format that we're using, it basically starts with the price and distribution of these rackets, and then we move on to talk about the manufacturer's specs versus the E-zone specs. If you're not familiar with the E-zone, we'll talk about that later, and then we talk about the design, and finally we conclude what we think about this racket before we go on to see the E-zone testing. So this racket is about £114 in the UK. It's available throughout Europe and the UK without any big issue. You shouldn't have any trouble getting hold of it. You can buy this racket within Europe from Badminton HQ. So if you type in Badminton HQ, you should be able to get hold of this racket without any problems. If you go to the link below, you'll see a link to the Badminton HQ website. If the link doesn't work for you, you can go directly to the website, and in the checkout page you can type in racket review in the coupon section, which should give you a discount on the racket. The Badminton HQ guys are awesome guys. They play badminton, they understand the sport, and that is why we've chosen to partner up with them. And the other factories, they do ship to most of Europe and other countries, which means the availability of this racket is pretty good. Okay, so let's go through the manufacturer's specs here. Racket weight for you weight. It says about 87 grams strung. Wow, isn't that interesting? 87 grams strung. The E-zone testing for this racket shows it to weigh 88 grams. So well done, Victor. That's pretty close, to be honest with you. The balance point of this racket is even. It has an even balance point according to this. Yeah, it says even balance here, and according to the E-zone, it is a head heavy balance. So when our measurement shows it to be balancing slightly in this direction towards the head. The shaft stiffness of this racket is more towards stiff, and the E-zone testing for this racket also shows it to have a stiff shaft. Now, other information that is helpful to you: maximum string tension on this racket, 30 pounds. This is supplied in the UK with a G5 grip. And it is made of quite high quality material, highly resilient modulus graphite, nano fortified TR plus pyrofill. So we know pyrofill, I think Mitsubishi also use that. It's a really highly resilient material to use, especially in rackets, and it's become quite popular in the more higher end rackets. In terms of the overall design of this racket, it's actually quite nice. It's got a nice blend of colours. It's got a matte black sort of neck area and a lower head, and then there's a mixture of graphics around the head, and it's, as typically with Victor, finished absolutely superbly. Everything is clear to read, everything is perfectly printed. It feels and looks like a really premium product. Take a look at these close-up pictures and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention earlier is this racket is actually produced in Taiwan. Taiwanese manufacturing is really good, which is why I mentioned this the Black Panther 2 by J&I, they're a Taiwanese company, and that is also produced at a really high standard. Right, so in terms of performance, it performed well. I wouldn't say it was amazing. It weighs, the weight we just told you was 88 grams, so it actually does feel, when you're using the racket, it feels a little bit heavier than 88, or maybe around that, but it didn't feel particularly light. It definitely was on the heavier side to use. So for those of you who are looking for light and fast, this probably won't work for you. Its airspeed also, I wouldn't say it was crazy quick. It was just okay in the air, pretty average airspeed, nothing crisp or lively particularly. And the stiffness, well, it didn't feel overly stiff. I would say the stiffness was actually more medium stiff when you're using this racket, which is, I think, a good thing. I think medium stiff is a nice place to be in terms of usage. Now, the overall racket experience, there isn't anything. I mean, it can generate a decent smash, but I think generating a repeated decent smash is a bit of an issue with it. It has reasonable levels of control, reasonable defense, reasonable overhead shots, and reasonable drive. It doesn't really stand out in any one area as outstanding. The Aura Speed 90S, for example, had outstanding level of control, and overall game was really, really good. That's a £160 racket. There is a video of the Aura Speed on the channel. Please do take a look at that if you're into Victor rackets. So, in conclusion, the racket is okay. It's £114. £114, and it's okay. Well, after using this and after using the JPX by Mizuno, I would say, you know, because they're in a very similar price bracket now, I would say probably the JPX 8.1 is a little bit livelier than this, a little bit more stable than this. I'd probably go with that. I'd probably go with the Black Panther by J Nice. Its all-round game is better than this. I would say the King K9 by Kawasaki is all round better than this. I probably prefer the Honor S6 because although it's not crazy quick in the air, it does deliver really good repulsion and really good smash power. The Nano Flare 270, there's been some fragility issues with it, so I'm a bit reluctant to recommend that too highly, but it does perform better. So I think we're going to say thumbs down for this Hypernano X900X. Its price point is not horrendous, it is well made, and it represents its price point very well in that respect, but its performance doesn't represent it that well. I would say that you are better off with, if you're looking for a top of the range racket, I would actually prefer the Nano Flare 800 over this. Not by a great margin, but I would prefer that over this. I'd prefer the 90S, Aura Speed 90S over this. I'd prefer the Aura Speed 70F and 70K over this. I'd prefer the Leaning 900i over this. Yeah, I mean that's everything, isn't it? So you've had recommendations to go to Yonex, Leaning, Victor's own rackets, or Mizuno. They're all top end rackets. There's not a lot out there that's a lot better. If you want to save some money, go hit the Black Panther J Nice or the Kawasaki King K9. They're a little bit more flexible, a little bit easier to use, and pretty quick. The J Nice particularly is very quick in the air for its weight class. I hope that's helpful to you. We're going to now go on and talk about the E-Zone. Some changes coming up in 2020. The E-Zone is about to change. In 2020, the Badminton Racket Review website is about to go through a renovation update. The E-Zone will get some updates too. There will be a search function added to the E-Zone. There will be some date timelines, so if you want to see the most recent reviews, you can do that. Also, there are 5 new tests added to the individual racket page of the E-Zone, which will enhance your ability to understand the racket even further and know the racket even deeper. So that's all to come. There is the possibility the E-Zone will be a free of charge platform to access by the end of this year. Let's wait and see. Watch this space. Also, we've stopped doing the control test where we do some drop shots and the shuttle drops into some buckets, into the green or grey buckets. We now judge or score the control of a racket from actually the court testing, where we're dropping tight to the net, cross court drops, overhead, backhand, sideways, and we score the racket on that basis. However, all the other tests in the E-zone, so the swing rate, the weight, the stiffness test, the smash JPEGs, the balance point, that all still continues, as well as the smash and maneuver tests. Now we're going to go on and talk about those in a second. If you are familiar with the E-zone, you're not too fussy, you want to sign up, please do. Before you go, can I just please thank you all for your support, thank you for all the sharing, and thank you for the likes. Please do keep that up, and please do start leaving reviews on the channel here on YouTube, and if you're an E-zone member, please start leaving reviews on the E-zone. Other than that, we're going to talk about the E-zone a bit further for people who are not so familiar with it. So if you do know about it, please do move on to another video, and for those of you who don't, please do stay tuned. Now, the E-zone is a platform created by Badminton Racket Review. You can find out more at www.badmintonracketreview.co.uk. The E-zone allows you to compare rackets from 19 world-class manufacturers side by side, which you've never been able to do before, and it uses the same terminology and the same testing for all rackets, which makes it even easier to compare them. Now, there are some upsetting results on there for some die-hard fans of high-end, top of the range rackets. Unfortunately, we didn't feel they were that good, but whatever you see on there is neutral testing done in the same way for all rackets, so the results are the results. When you do decipher which rackets you like using the E-zone, you can then press the logo button, and you can then see a lot more information on each individual racket, how it performed in which areas. You can see the bench testing, so like I mentioned earlier, the swing weight, the balance point, the stiffness. We've also got the JPEGs there, we've also got the videos there, so a lot of information on each racket. The primary things to know about our E-zone testing is we restring all of our rackets using Yonex BG65 string at 25 pounds of tension. We use the same shuttles, the AS30s by Yonex, and we use the same player to do all of our testing. The shots you're about to see next, which is the smash and maneuver test, the basic parameters of those tests are: we take 6 shots. If we're happy with those 6 shots, we're happy with the outcome of those 6 shots, we then average the top 2 results to give us an overall smash speed in kilometers per hour or a smash score. And for the maneuver shot, we take the top 2 air speeds of the racket and we average those out to give us a maneuver speed in kilometers per hour and a maneuver score. As soon as these videos, we're going to now go on to show you those tests. Once they're done, we will be signing out at that point, so I'm going to say bye for now. We'll see you on the next video. Here is the smash test.